I was reading a book called Meeting Jesus, and in the end chapters, it talks about John, in the book of John, Jesus and Zacchaeus, the tax collector in Jericho, hated people, tax collectors. The Jews don't like tax collectors, I'll tell you that. They're working for the Romans, and the Romans are obviously and putting them down and all these things. So Zacchaeus can't get through the crowd because he's short, so he has to go on a tree. And Jesus sees him. Zacchaeus takes him to his home. Jesus wants to go with him, and he says, "Salvation is now in this house." Now, at the time, the righteous people, the Pharisees, are like, "This tax collectors don't deserve anything. Matthew, tax collector, doesn't deserve anything." Jesus doesn't come for the good people. He came for the sick. He came for the wicked. The people that knew they were wrong. The people that knew they were sinners. He came for them. The people that were able to humble themselves. He came for everyone, yes. But Zacchaeus, a tax collector, knew. He just knew he needed Jesus. The money he was getting, it wasn't enough. He knew he needed Jesus. The money he was taking from the Jews, it wasn't enough. It wasn't his salvation. Jesus is. And when a wicked man, a sinner like that, able to realize that he needs Jesus, that's the best. You get so much more in heaven, more than money. God himself. That's such a beautiful thing. Jesus, he didn't come for the Pharisees. He didn't come for the religious people. He came for the least important people. For the least important will be first, he said. They will be exalted. The humble will be exalted. What are we doing? Are we humble? Are we realizing that we need more than money, more than uni degrees, more than girls and men? We need Jesus. It's never enough. He's that satisfaction. He's that water he gives. That eternal springs that he gives us in John when he's talking to the Samaritan woman. That's what he says. But he's everything. And he's worth your whole life. The kingdom of heaven is worth your whole life. He is. Jesus is everything. And Zacchaeus saw that. The rich tax collector saw that. Rich. I want you to realize how many times we see rich men in the Bible. Job, Noah, Isaac, Abraham. They all gave it for God. But one rich man in Mark 10 couldn't. Don't be like him. Yes, they have the money. All the people I just mentioned in the Old Testament, Job as well, had money. But they knew they needed something more. King Solomon needed something more than his money, and it was Christ. So what am I saying in this video? 1, Jesus came for everybody. I read it. I was reading in the book, and he says, Jericho got mad at Jesus that he went with the tax collector. It's equivalent nowadays that Jesus, instead of Jesus hanging out with the mayor of London, for example, he goes and hangs out with the local drug dealer. That's the new analogy you could say. Jesus goes for the people that people don't expect. His kingdom is the other way around. The Jews expected the kingdom to take over the Romans, to take over the world, to defeat the oppressors. But now Jesus says no. Don't fight your oppressors with knives. Fight your oppressions with love. Fight your oppressions with this. The Bible, the word. Show the love that I have shown you. So when he's shown that didn't even expect it. Salvation has now come to your house, he says. And that's what's so amazing about Jesus, because no one is too far from being saved. No matter how many sins you've committed, you are always going to be saved. The woman the woman that anoints him with the alabaster jar, her sins were many, Luke says. Luke's chapter 7. Her sins were many, and Jesus still forgives. You're not too far from Jesus' salvation. Never, ever think you're too far away. He came for people just like you and me. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And if you're trying to follow something or another thing or a religion or anything in this world that tries to give you it will never give you the satisfaction Jesus has. I promise you. You're going to keep digging and digging for more and more and more, but you're empty. Zacchaeus found everything. His money. He was a tax collector. He had the money. But when he had Jesus, he knew that was the real treasure. That was where the real love is. So you're never too far away from Jesus' love. You're never too far away from his forgiveness. He has forgiven you. He wants to. Repent. The kingdom is near. He will be back. I hope this video made sense. God bless you all.